What is up, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a special episode of an AFK Journey video, which is the brand new Labyrinth quest, which I think is going to be a great addition to the game. But let's talk about the current state of Arcane Labyrinth. Let's talk about the things that we'll be experiencing in the next coming weeks, as well as some of the biggest issues and problems with Arcane Labyrinth, because many of you may not know what the higher difficulties look like, as well as what are some of the things that can be improved within Arcane Labyrinth that simply really haven't been. I mean, this, for those of you who aren't aware, Arcane Labyrinth, really, for the most part, it's questing and the upgrades that you get to your characters is some of the coolest and most unique items that you get. However, the characters themselves, getting buffed, etc., it starts to feel like Dora's Trials in the sense that though we're getting unique buffs, without those buffed characters, you start to struggle and fall behind. So really, you're going to have to build your characters around these characters. Otherwise, your relics and crests have to be like perfect case scenario. So I, of course, built these two that I could. Muriel's not available to me. I don't have her upgraded just yet, but hopefully 2 out of 3 is enough. As you can see, I did a previous run that didn't go so well. So hopefully we'll get a run that reflects that if we can. So basically when we start out, I mean, for me, the start is going to be very important. Getting things like physical and magic defense isn't going to do anything for me. And this is just experience of doing the level 15 difficulty. At a certain point, it's not going to help you. So my typical setup is your standard Aeron nuke team, Arden as well. I throw in Parissa because I don't have Carolina, and then I've been using Thunderbolt spell. Surprisingly, a good matchup because it gives you damage after a certain number of ultimates. The damage is primarily coming from Parissa, though, for me. Pure crystals, we're going to avoid that relic gate as much as possible. I'm going to try to chug through these as quickly as I can. I'm not throwing in Odie or Cecia just yet. It's not necessary for us to. But if I had to choose, I'd probably throw in Odie as my carry instead of Parissa. And then I would probably throw in Cecia. I would say instead of Arden, if I had to like a true swap and I needed a support, I'd throw in Cecia. That would make the most sense to me. So, I mean, if you want to, basically this one is going to do damage to all characters as an ultimate, and then this is going to give us a secondary Carlisle, I believe, is our upgrade. So that's how you can do it. The reason why I'm not is, as you can see, Cecia takes a little while to charge up her ultimate, so you don't really get the use out of it. But right now, it's not so important. These levels aren't going to be a challenge really until like once you get closer to 15. So I'm not super worried about it right now. So Vitality, these are going to be the most important relics for us to get, these Sanctuary relics. These are going to provide shielding for us. Haste is also an okay one to get. Using abilities quicker is never a bad thing. I'm going to opt for Vanquish, though. I don't want to limit my opportunities or my options just yet. Crit damage is never a bad thing. Crit damage is never a bad thing. And I'm gonna refresh and see if we get something better. I don't like these ones that require your health to be a certain amount. Let's just do 100 energy. That way our CC has a better chance later on. And I'll skip that one for now. We could get haste. Haste isn't bad. It's just that right now we're trying to prioritize energy. Really is the thing. 2 Sylvanas. Thankfully we got this level early on, because otherwise this is one of the hardest ones, as you can see. Cecia gets destroyed before too long. So there we go. Yeah, Sylvina late game is basically a death sentence if you're not careful. So really, what you're fighting for isn't necessarily the boss. It's that level. So when you lose 20% of your max HP, getting a shield equal to 5% is kind of low, to be honest. Stuns on a certain amount of energy. Interesting. I don't like the sacrifice health ones. Let's go with a refresh. Let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll go with, you know what? I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to try with crit, just because it requires a certain health amount, which I'm not a big fan of, but simultaneously, I also know that basically if your characters are going to die, you're gone. Like if you're gonna take damage, you're gonna lose. So maybe it'll be useful. Who knows? So let's go ahead and meet the requirements for this one. Damien's really useful once he hits that EX5 as a support. I'd say the only downside is his little cart doesn't really position itself that great. It kind of just positions himself like the nearest character. I wish it would sort of position itself central. I think that'd be way better. All right, so stores energy for shields, attack speed. Let's go ahead and refresh. Yeah, not a lot of great options here. Really, you're at the mercy here. But hey, you know, we did get something here. We got a double your rewards. Hopefully we can beat this level. Usually these get to be very challenging once you get to like around this level. So be wary. So note that this is different from Dora's Trials in that though we're getting buffed characters, I don't necessarily think we're getting buffed enemies. Trust me, the enemies were already buffed enough, but I haven't noticed any like buffed enemy fighting. So like I'm not super worried about that. So energy seems nice. Restore or can absorb 15 energy from normal attacks. That's interesting. Let's see, stuns. I like this one, double cast. Double cast is a nice one. Let's go ahead and go with attack. I might have gone with crystals. We might get another fits, but we'll see. These can get a little challenging, these levels, like the crystal defense levels. Late game are basically a death sentence, not because your characters will die, but because your crystal will die. So just be mindful of that. Double, maybe triple support. If you have Smokey, you know, Smokey is a great option there. Like if you're trying to fit in 2, maybe 3 supports to make it work. So just always know that that's an option. And like I said, like you really don't need buffed characters, but we are trying to build specifically for these buffed characters. Believe it or not. Right. An elite fight. Yeah, you can tell that the hardest fights up until this point are going to be the ones where it's like 2 or 3 Sylvanas or 2 or 3 Thorns. Those get to be so tanky that basically they're gonna hit you and they're gonna hit you hard. So stunning. Let's see, convert shield into healing. Let's go with the grants a shield. Go with more vitality. I always wonder, like, you know, how much health by the end of this do I actually have? Because it gets melted. It gets melted in the high teens level, so. Okay. 6 out of 6. So when a shield expires, excessive healing into a shield. And then damage immunity over 20%. I'm gonna try this one this time. I tried a different one last time, so I'm gonna give this one a shot and see if it ends up being better. Not really going for crystals. Usually I go for a lot of crystals because crystals is always a great option whenever you're trying to like go to the store every chance you get, because you can buy typically like up to 3 relics at once, which is a great little boost. But if you get the relics you're looking for, then it ends up being not so bad. So I'm gonna go with this one again just because I really want to focus on ultimate energy for Cecia, and we really haven't gotten anything for her just yet. So they're giving us some of the easy peasy ones, which is nice. I don't know if these are like fully randomized or if it's like a certain number of variants that can appear, but hoping for something energy wise. So frightens, those are nice for some levels. The frights after you cast your first ultimate. The damage immunity one, interesting. But since it's only for the first ultimate, I'm not a fan. Double the energy restoration. I like that. For every crest allies have. This is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be interesting, but I do want to go with energy potential force instead. Oh, wow. What a bad time to get Fitz to store. What a bad time. Guess there wasn't a lot we could use from that anyways. So 1 or 2 bad ones in there. Definitely could have gone better, but, you know, I think there was a lot of decent ones in that too. I wonder if we can full swap and it'll be fine. Let's see. See how things go. I have to throw in Hewen. Aaron's looking a little low. Yeah, I think because Aaron's like super low, we might have to throw in Hewen. Throw him in there to see how he does. Let's check out his damage. So yeah, so he still does a great amount of damage. So an okay swap out for Parissa. But if we wanted the faction bonus, we could have had Parissa in there, and I'm sure that would have done decent as well. Okay. True damage equal to 10% of their max HP. Fully restores HP every time an enemy hero is defeated. That's easier said than done. If you're fighting a Thorin team, no one's gonna die because it's gonna be like 3 supports. Out here is gonna shield it 5 times the sum of their physical defense, magic defense, and 10 seconds at the start of the battle, and every 10 seconds after that. I'm gonna go with Shield of Judgment. Really can't stress the amount of the importance of having shields. I really have not, like I've done multiple runs. I really have not had a lot of luck with enemies I've gotten and relics and crests I've gotten. But this is what I'm talking about. You know, 5 Thorins, it seems easy, but once you have 5 Thorins casting something like this, it's devastating. The best thing you could do, I mean, I'm going to show you here, but the best thing you could do is really separate everybody as much as possible. But it's only going to save you so much. So not a whole ton you could do there. So this is where your damage starts to feel non-existent. And it's almost no clear distinction of when exactly it happens. It just happens. And as much as you may try, there's not a lot that can be done to just clear it out flat out. We could try to go the defensive route here. So instead we'll go here and little Coco in there. We still have a lot of CC with Cecia, but as you can see, once the ultimate starts to face us, it starts to get kind of dangerous. Now you can get lucky and they could all be facing separate directions, but yeah, you're gonna get hit by multiple. So this is the things I was talking about for, you know, for difficulty and rankings. You know, I think that while it's a great thing that we can try out new characters and have interesting ultimates. This is the thing about like difficulty scaling that I think AFK Journey just does not have figured out right now. Wherein, I mean, at least with this, I mean, you can see that once you get a challenging level, you just stop doing damage. Like they just have too much health, too much healing, or they deal so much damage that doesn't matter how much you have, you'll lose. And so, I mean, looking at the rankings here, you know, you're gonna have people who can clear level 20. You know, that is always a possibility. Not saying it's not. I don't know how recent these are either. Like how recent this was reset, because I was ranked 20 yesterday. So this might have just reset. But it can be so excessive to where basically you have no problem getting to level 15, but really past that point, it's almost unfair because you're not able to before that time to really test to see if your things are going well. I mean, what could you say was the problem there is really like I didn't have enough shielding. You would need so much more shielding. That way you could at least take on those ultimates. Like that would be the thing. You know, like if I had Lucius, you know, I'd throw a Lucius in there. That'd be a great option. But right now, it's kind of it's hard to play a game mode like this where basically up until a certain point you're kind of like God tier, and then all of a sudden things stop going well. And so, as much as you can plan to make the team work, it's impossible to really overcome it. You just gotta draw the right cards, and that's why this mode can be so time consuming, and kind of loses a bit of its fun in it, because despite everything, you know, it's like there wasn't really any chance for me in that fight. So how do I feel about this? I mean, ultimately, I think that the game mode, I'm glad that they were added a reward structure back. I'm glad that we were able to get some interesting buffs. As you can see, I cleared it pretty quickly. It was pretty fast. It was done in 2. I think if I got a little bit further, I would have been able to do it in 1, just because yeah, so if I got a full clear, I would have gotten it in 1, but I think that right now the way it's set up is so like this, the jump in power level, the power creep, it's not power creep, it's power spike. It's just too excessive. So yeah, I mean, that's the current feels on that. I'm excited that they're bringing this back. I hope that this means that further changes can be implemented. And typo, assignment build, not built. Anyways, hope to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.